Hello and welcome to Dan Talks United. Yes, trying to be upbeat for this weekend's game against Burnley. This is the match preview. Let's get into it. And before we get going, just need to remind you guys, please hit that subscribe button. I'm on that road to 50. I want to go beyond, but I have to keep hitting some milestones. So it's the road to 50, guys, and it'll be the road to 100 and then beyond. So let's get into it. Manchester United versus Burnley. Bloody Burnley. Right. After what's happened so far, losing to Arsenal, sick of saying it, drawing against Fulham, then that embarrassing loss against Grimsby Town. It's now Burnley coming to Old Trafford. So what's going to happen here? Right. I don't know. Burnley tomorrow, Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff. 2 games into the season so far under Ruben Amorim. We haven't tasted victory yet, guys. Where are we going to get our first win from? Because we struggle to get wins against the lower sides, and obviously Burnley would be classed as one of those lower sides. We have seemed under Amorim to play that a little bit better against the bigger sides. And as I said before in videos, the real test, our first test was against Fulham. And what would you call that? I wouldn't say it was quite a fail, but it was a fail in the sense of not seeing our style of play or Amorim's style of play, not seeing a convincing goal either. And then comes Grimsby, and we looked horrible. So, under Amorim, we were promised a fresh identity, dynamic football with some structure. So far, it's looked flat, disconnected. It's most importantly, it's been unproductive. Now comes this home game against Burnley, newly promoted, managed by Scotty Parker. And let's be real, he would love nothing more than to pile the pressure on Manchester United. So, as I was saying, system under Amorim for Manchester United, we expected a tactical shift. We expected quite a dramatic change with the alien system of 3-4-3. We expected more fluidity, maybe even, well, there was or is that back three, but it's not been looking like that up to now. After 2 games, feels like United are stuck between styles, really. Sometimes you can see patterns of play. Sometimes you can see what Amorim's trying to do, but it's never consistent. And when you're not seeing it, it's almost like I'm not sure what I'm watching. You've got Bruno that's come out of his customary number 10 position where he, despite what, I mean, mixed reviews from Bruno. There's part of the fan base that love him. I'm sort of in that camp. And then there's the other part of the fan base where they just feel he's wasteful, can be shocking at times, not the best captain for the club, all that sort of stuff. But currently in that sort of number 8 position, looking isolated. You've got Ahmad, and I suppose maybe his injuries comes into this as well, but not clicking with the, as I keep saying, not clicking with Mbeumo. The new players aren't really clicking with the team at the moment. You've got a lot of Cunha picking up the ball deep and sometimes trying to beat the opposition on his own. You can see what he's trying to do. He's popping it off. He's expecting it back. You can see he's flapping his arms about at times when the ball doesn't come back. So very frustrating. You talk about, or Amorim talked about, coming in to the season late last season, pleading for that full pre-season. Will have wanted the players in early. By our standards, you could probably say the three of them did come in early because they've all come in before the start of the season. However, he would have wanted them all on the pre-season tour, I'm quite sure. So, like I say, Bruno is looking quite isolated, looking quite sort of stuck in that position, not quite knowing how to fulfill that role to its optimum. Yes, there is times where he is switching play or he's putting the ball in behind and it looks good, but it's just not enough, especially defensively, as we could see against Fulham when ESR, Emil Smith Rowe, ran on beyond him and scored. Now, defence still seems quite prone at times, especially when the teams are hitting us on the break, on the transition. Sometimes it feels like they're not quite set, but also what I'm finding is that, yes, I don't want to go on about changing formation too much, but I almost feel that if you had like currently if you had like a Euro and Delict as two not genuine, two traditional centre backs, and then you had a right back and a left back, and sort of did that back four. It just feels like to me that you'd see the best of our current players in that system. So I think at the minute, when you've got that sort of back three, I think they're probably in their heads a lot, thinking about movement, where they should be on building up play going forward, where they should be in defensive actions. I think sometimes when the ball's played in, there isn't that person that's saying, that's mine. I'm in control of this. It just feels very like they're playing on their own, and there's no defensive unity in that back line. So, yeah, in terms of the match, it doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence when that sort of thing's going on. So, like I said, there's times where we look really good, like against Arsenal, and there's times where we look horrendous, like against Grimsby. So, yeah, not panic stations yet, but we're very close. And if Amarin fails to beat Burnley at home, yeah, the journalists are coming for you, papers are coming for you, fans are coming for you. It's going to be Amarin out everywhere. So it's gone from, I suppose, the same words, but must win. It's gone to make or break. So have to win, make or break. No excuses. Playing at home, playing against a newly promoted side, it has to be no other than a win. And at this stage, I would even sacrifice to a certain extent style of play just to get a win on the board, because if we don't start winning, we're just going to be miles and miles and miles behind everybody else. And although I shouldn't say this as a hope, but any sort of hope of finishing in the top half of the table, I'll call it that. Definitely won't say top four, top half of the table. That for me is almost gone if we was to lose this game against Burnley. So really quickly on Burnley, don't know loads about them. Haven't watched Burnley under Scott Parker. Did watch a bit of them under the last coach Company, but not watched them under Parker. However, obviously under Scott Parker, I don't foresee him being ultra expansive in possession like they were under Company. I think Parker's a bit more pragmatic. I would expect they'd have it quite tight at the back. They'd probably survey how we're playing and hit us on the counter. But having said that, the way we have been playing, we'll probably play into their hands and allow them to have the possession, to be honest with you. But generally speaking, I would imagine that they would survey how we play at the start, be quite tight at the back, hit us on the break, as I was saying, and then go from there. So do I expect Burnley to come to Old Trafford and play open football, all about the structure, resilient, but then overcommit and allow us in behind? No, I don't think that. But there is chances that they end up doing what Grimsby did and pressing us, making us feel uncomfortable on the ball. And if that happens and we perform the same way we did against Grimsby, it wouldn't look too good. Now, going on to sort of key battles, as it were, Casemiro, I'm expecting, is going to start. That's going to be an interesting one in the centre of the park because so far I feel like we've pretty much lost all our midfield battles. So can we control the tempo of the game against Burnley? I'm not so sure. Bruno, will he be in the game this time? Will he have his head in the game? Because he didn't seem to have his head in the game against Fulham. Can I say he looked all right against Grimsby? I mean, I don't even want to mention that because how poor is it to say that a player might have looked all right against Grimsby? So we'll move on to that. We'll move on from that very quickly. Do we get some joy down the wings? Do we get some joy through Dorgu and whether it be Ahmad or Dallo? That's yet to be seen. We do want to see that they do the basics right. They beat the man, they get a crossing, especially if Sesko's up there. We just need to start feeding Sesko. We need to start scoring. And I think as much as it's not looking great, I think if we were to be a team that can start scoring first, I think that starts to instill confidence across the team, gets them believing that, okay, this system can work. Maybe Amarim knows what he's doing, but currently when you're knocking on the door and there's no answer, and then they knock on our door once, and all they've got to face is Onana or Bayandere, we're ending up behind. And it's where, how we're going to progress in that manner, I don't know. Right, so that's it for the preview. Manchester United versus Burnley, 3 p.m. kickoff at Old Trafford. Please don't let us down. Do it for the fans. Do it for Amarim, maybe. As always, please hit that subscribe button. Really important to this channel. Really important for us as a community. And that hitting the subscribe button is going to allow us to grow, as I keep saying. So please like, please share, and I will see you on the next one.